This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Bershut Chaverim. This Shabbat has a special name, Shabbat Shira. No other Shabbat is named after the Parsha that we read. We have Shabbat Shuvah. We have a Shabbos named after the Haftarah. We have no Shabbat named after the Parsha. So what is so significant about Shabbat Shira? So they asked the Chidushei Harim, and he responded, the way the Shira is written is very significant. It's Ariach al Gabe Leveina. You have half bricks on top of whole bricks. In other words, if you look at the Sefer Torah, you see first the middle line is open, and then you have the middle line is full. First you have two side pieces, then you have a middle piece, then two side pieces, and middle piece. The way a Shira is written. Since it's written open, it's a cause for celebration. Question is, what's so happy about the fact that the Shira is written open? So it's brought in the Sefer Ramasayim Tzofim, an amazing idea. We know in Parshat Vayechi when the Shibud began, when the bondage of Egypt began, so we mentioned that Parshat Vayechi is Parsha Stuma. It's sealed shut. There's no opening at all between the end of Vayigash and the beginning of Vayechi. Not only does not begin on the next line, not only are there not 4 letters of space, Vayifru, Vayirbu, Me'od, Vayechi. If you wouldn't know, you wouldn't even know it's a new pasuk. It's completely sealed shut. Says Rashi, this symbolizes that when the Shibud began, Einehem v'liban shel Yisrael nistemu, our eyes and our heart were sealed shut. Says Chidushei Harim, but now by the Geula, now our eyes were open wide. Now our heart was open wide. Where do we see that? We see that in the Shira. The fact we have big spaces in the Shira, that means Niftechu, Einehem v'liban shel Yisrael. Now our eyes and our hearts were open wide. That's how we have big spaces in the Shira. So Keneged, Nistemu, Einehem v'liban shel Yisrael. We now have Niftechu. We have the opening of the eyes and the heart of the Jewish people. Kriyat Yam Suf, that signifies the opening of the Yam Suf. It's very interesting. So what did we do to be zocheh that our eyes and our heart opened up? We mentioned Moshe Rabbeinu, Natan Einav Velibo Liot Meitzar Leihem. He placed his eyes and his heart to feel the pain of the Jewish people. And that opened up the eyes and the heart of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Targum Yonatan ben Uziel says, Vachamushim Alu B'nei Yisrael Me'eretz Mitzrayim. Literally, we left Egypt armed. There's an amazing comment of Targum Yonatan. He says, V'chol chad im chamsha taflin saliku B'nei Yisrael Me'ard Yisrael Me'ard Mitzrayim. Every Jew left Egypt with 5 children. So what's going on? There was family planning in Egypt. In China, you could have 1 child. Only 1 child. You have more than 1 child, so it's a crime. They have mandatory abortion in China. But of course, the UN will never protest any human rights in China. They're too busy protesting the human rights violations in Israel. So what's going on? In the Jewish people, every single family had 5 children. How's that possible that every single family had 5 children? So Be'er Yosef says, of course not every family had 5 children, but 4/5 of the Jewish people died in Makas Choshech. So that means for every family that had children, there were 4 families that were Yisomim because their parents died. So who took these children out of Egypt? The Cholchad im Chamsha Taflin Saliku B'nei Yisrael Me'ard Mitzrayim. Every family, every father and mother that survived took his children and the other 4 families of children who their parents died in Makas Choshech. So each family took 5 families of children out of the land of Israel. So they opened up their eyes and their hearts to shoulder the burden of other families, and therefore they were zocheh, keneged, Parshat Vayechi, nistemu, einehem, b'liban shel Yisrael, in Parshat Beshalach, Ariach al Gabe Leveina, you have wide openings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu opened up, einehem, v'liban shel Yisrael. This is the simcha of Shabbat Shira, that the Rebbeinu Shalom opens up our eyes and our heart. Reb Chanani ben Akash Amar, Ratzak HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zak Yisrael L'sikach,
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.